Hey, good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to this edition of Castillo Conversations. I'm Darcy Miller with Castillo Real Estate and the Miller team, and today we are so blessed. Normally we do business leaders and things like that, but today we are going to talk with Eric Azar about a journey he's going to be taking to raise money for the American Lung Association. Eric, thank you so much for joining us today.
Great, thanks, Darcy.
Yeah. So give us a little bit of an overview about your trip, first of all.
Yeah, so ultimately what I'm doing, it's called the Iron Butt Challenge. So it's the ultimate coast-to-coast challenge. And I'm going to be riding from Key West, Florida, up to the tip of Alaska in Prudhoe Bay. So it's Dead Horse, Alaska. And along the way, I'm going several other routes. So if that's not hard enough, there's another road called the Dempster Highway that recently opened up that you can ride all the way out to the Arctic Ocean. And that opened in 2017. So I'm going to be doing that. Round trip journey is going to be probably just over 14,000 miles. There's a lot going on. There's a lot of forest fires up in Canada right now. So that's going to kind of dictate some of my route choices that I take. But really looking forward to it. I'm going to be leaving in about a week now.
That's fantastic. Now, there's a very special reason that you're undertaking this journey, this adventure. Why don't you share a little bit about that with us?
Yeah, so the culmination of this is unfortunately, I lost both of my parents last year. My dad passed away from complications of COPD, and my mom had stage 4 lung cancer. So they died within about a 2-month period of each other. And last year, as part of that, I ended up had a Harley Davidson motorcycle, and I decided, I want to get back into adventure riding. And what better way? So I ended up selling that bike. I bought this BMW R1250 GS Adventure last year, rode it up to Ohio for both of their funerals, and then the week after that, I came down the Mid-Atlantic BDR, which kind of trails along the Appalachian Mountains. And that was a very cathartic experience. Just kind of being out in the middle of wilderness, nowhere around for a whole week after the funeral. And it became addictive. By the time I got back home, it's like, I need more adventure.
Got to do it again,
yeah. Yeah. So, I was kind of like pondering, what is my next journey going to be? And I'm a member of the BMW Northeast Florida Club, and one of our members did this trip last year. He did it with his brother-in-law, and it sounded appealing, so I started looking into it a little bit more, and I thought, I could do this. So I decided to do it solo. A lot of people generally will do it with more than one person, but part of the way I like to travel is really pushing myself to the limits. And I'm not an outdoorsman at all by any sense of the imagination. My kids would tease me when they were little and we'd go camping because I had to go to the Starbucks, while they were trying to build a fire. But during last year's trip, I really got into the outdoors, and so I love adventure travel. I love motorcycle camping, and so part of this trip is I'm going to really try to do as much wild, free camping as I can along the way. The goal is to stay, maybe at a hotel 1 or 2 nights, but really the goal is to stay camping out in the wild as much as I can.
Yeah, and you're raising money for the American Lung Association.
Right.
Tell us a little bit about your relationship with them, and what's your goal?
So I have a $5,000 goal that I've set. I hope to be able to achieve that. I'm just over $1,200 right now. I'm working with the local director for Northeast Florida at the American Lung Association, and she's put me in contact with a few people. So we have a local TV broadcast that should be airing next week. I hope that will generate some donations coming in. I have my website as well, so people will be able to follow along and see the journey I'm going. So as I'm traveling along these other cities and provinces up in Canada, I hope to be able to spread the word and raise some money additionally for the American Lung Association that way.
Almost a Forrest Gump on a motorcycle, right?
Yeah.
In a lot of ways, yeah.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. Pick some people up along the way. Well, tell us about your motorcycle. What does it take from a beast like this to, accomplish this trip?
Yeah, so, I've been motorcycling for probably about 30 years, and one of the first motorcycles I bought as an adult was a BMW 1100 GS back when I was living in Northern California. And that's what really kind of turned me on to BMWs and more adventure style riding. And so when I sold my Harley last year, I wanted to go back into this route. So this is kind of the ultimate touring bike. I'm 6'6", so fortunately I'm able to flat foot it. Most people, it's a big bike for them, especially when you get into some of the off-road trails, it can be a little gnarly at times. But it's 1,250 cc's. Like I said, it's great on the highways. The nice thing I like about it is I can jump off, the roads well traveled and take the dirt roads. If I see something interesting when I'm on my routes, it's great to be able to jump on a fire trail or BLM road. And it's got cruise control, I've got GPS navigation, dash cams. It's pretty high tech as far as it's out there.
Now, are you equipped, yourself to do any mechanical things if something happens along the way?
Yeah, fortunately I'm very mechanical.
Yeah.
I had the tire bike stripped down to the frame just a couple weeks ago, doing some enhancements to it. So I'm prepared for pretty much anything that I'm going to run into. I've got tire plugs, air compressors, complete toolkits. So if something drastic happens on the trip, I'm able to resolve it. I'm pretty much self-contained at that point.
Yeah. Now, when are you embarking on your journey? What's the date?
So we're going to be leaving St. Augustine for Miami next Saturday on the 22nd, staying the night there, and then on Sunday the 23rd, I begin the journey, and I'm going to ride down to Key West, and that's the official starting location. I'm doing 2 Iron Butt challenges on the first day, so you have to ride 1,000 miles within 24 hours, 1,500 miles within 36. So I'm stacking those together, but basically when I start the trip on Sunday morning, I've got 36 hours to complete 1,500 miles.
Gotcha.
So I'm heading up towards St. Louis right away from there, so that'll be the first 1,500 miles. I'm going to stay with my son for a day, get a couple hours rest, and then I'm heading over towards Sturgis in South Dakota. I'm going to be there a week before the big rally there, so hopefully
pay homage on
yeah.
your way.
Yeah, so I'm kind of working my way through the Midwest then and up towards Canada. It's going to take me probably around the neighborhood of 12 days or so to get up to the tip of Alaska, as long as the weather is with me. The past 2 weeks it's not been a whole lot of rain, so I'm crossing my fingers I'll be lucky as well. I just need to worry about this heat.
Yeah. Well, that's fantastic. Well, tell people where they can find out more about your journey and follow along and obviously contribute to the American Lung Association.
Yeah, so I have a website. It's called lifeunpaused.org. And from there, there's a donate link on the top of the page, and that will take you to the American Lung Association where you can contribute. I'm also going to post as often as I can, hopefully daily, as long as I have cell reception. I'm going to post daily ride reports there. I have an Instagram page, which you can find the link off the website too, and I'll do posts up there. So you can kind of follow along and see my adventures of trying to dodge the heat and mosquitoes and bears and gnarly roads. So.
Well, thanks, Eric, for your time. It sounds like a wonderful journey for a great cause, and we're going to be following along. And so, hey, folks, down below in our comments section or in our, the bio area, we're going to be able to put the link to his website so you can follow along and contribute to his cause. So, Eric, thank you so much for joining us today. We really appreciate it. Good luck on everything. We'll be with you all every step of the way.
Great, thank you.
And folks, hey, that's another edition of Castillo Conversations. See you next time.